one. Welcome to the Hunters Hub. This is your host Fortuan, joined by returning co-host Ace. How you doing?
Doing very good. You thought you could get rid of me, but no.
Now, we needed you tonight. Pan got sick now.
Yeah.
She wanted to save the listeners hawking up a lung on air like I did last week. I got comments on that. I got comments like where I know you guys hadn't listened to it, but we did. Oh gosh, what was I can't remember the topic. But anyways, we were talking about like my first topic, and then I was just like I died in the middle of talking and just sort of started coughing and hacking, and I passed it off to my brother. I was like, "You go, I can't." Bye. Oh, and it sounded bad on audio, so I took it out. Anyways, and welcome back, Sasha. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty great. How are you guys? Ready to go? Ready to talk? Fun stuff?
All full of
Yes.
Caribbean food from a food truck that stopped at the bar that's literally actually a brewery, not a bar. That's like literally 2 houses down from us.
That's cool. Also a problem if you're an alcoholic, but cool if you're not.
I'm pretty sure I'm not. I don't drink like every day. Usually on the weekends.
I wasn't saying you were. I'm just saying in general. It would be a bad situation
No, I know.
for an alcoholic.
But I mean, I am from Wisconsin, so like there is
and
a
alcohol.
stereotype.
Yes, cheese and beer. Yeah.
hmm I mean, they actually make beer cheese soup here. It's
Ooh,
pretty
that
good.
sounds gross.
It's delicious. So good. Don't
It
knock
is.
until you
See?
try it.
See, I'm not
Oh.
crazy.
I know. I told you, Ace. Did I ever tell you I actually had cheese curds?
Yeah, and you said you didn't like them?
Yeah,
Right?
they were disgusting. I'm never getting
Suck.
them again. Never.
You suck.
I was right. The squeaky cheese on my teeth is not something I'm going for.
You know, they're fresh. They taste better,
Now,
and they eat better when they're fresh.
to be fair, it was a Dairy Queen that I got it from, so it's not probably the highest quality.
Oh, you need to come to Wisconsin and get a fresh set of cheese curds on Friday, because that's usually when they batch them out to grocery stores and Quick Trips.
Okay. Yeah, I guess that makes sense if they have like a specific day. It just I've never thought to myself, "Oh no, I need to go to this restaurant on this day because the food's the best on this day." I've always felt like it's just been even across all the days for all the restaurants for me.
Well, no, did I say restaurant? I meant grocery store.
Yeah.
Grocery
okay.
store and gas station, not restaurants.
Gas
But
station.
like Culver's.
So that
Culver's
sounds,
has good.
that sounds
fried
worse.
cheese curds.
Gas station cheese curds.
They just
Like
distribute them
indigestion.
there. Like you don't say Mountain Dew is bad from a gas station.
But there is a thing about gas station hot dogs. You know this, right? I mean, gas station.
Yeah, and I don't usually get hot dogs from gas
Okay,
stations.
okay.
Although Quick Trip I trust because they actually do have a very good like food selection, and they do very good upkeep with the food. So if
Okay.
you're ever in Wisconsin, hit up a Quick Trip, man. Trust me.
Okay. So we're gonna be talking about mini games and some of the PlayStation stuff tonight. So I think we'll start off with the mini games, and then go from there. So we're talking like games within a game. The little, well, I mean, we've always called them mini games. Like I don't know how else to describe them other than a little side thing inside of the game. Some games are comprised entirely of mini games, like Mario Party. And then some games just have like a mini game just shoved in there every once in a while to be fun. So we're just gonna do 5 each, I think, and then we'll talk a little bit about the PlayStation news that came out. I didn't catch it live. To be honest, there wasn't a lot that really grabbed me, but I think there's some worth talking about. So, and Sasha's an Xbox person anyways, so, you know, she probably didn't watch that. Well, you were also really busy.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't watch it, but I did I did check out a little Cliff Notes version of it, and I mean, there might be some things that could lure me to the dark side. I don't know. We'll see.
I like that, the dark side. I consider Xbox the dark side because they're business practices, but that's Microsoft, not really Xbox. That's the problem in my brain. Then again, I will never not have a Windows PC, so who am I kidding? All right, so Ace, why don't you lead us off tonight with your first minigame?
Okay, you're gonna go over there. um, what was one of the first ones? I'm trying to remember.
I'm actually going off of memory on this one tonight.
Yeah, I wrote down a list. I only have like 4, but I technically have like 2 in 2 separate ones. We'll just go with one of the ones that I can remember off the top of my head. Dead Space. They had both in the first game, I think, it was the firing range, and then in the second game, it was Z-Ball, which is basically zero-gravity basketball, which took advantage of like the zero-G aspects of the game.
I could see that, having played the beginning of Dead Space.
Yeah, so it's basically what it sounds like. You play a shooting gallery game where you shoot targets. You try to get the highest score, and then you try to make as many baskets as you can in Z-Ball, because it's basically like basketball. And then the better you do on each level, and if you win, you get higher rewards, which is usually a power node. So you can upgrade your armor, your weapons, stasis pack, oxygen, things like that.
Does this stuff count for completionist stuff? I would assume the power node does, yeah.
Yeah, there are trophies that come with each of them. I think for the shooting gallery, it's a marksman, and then I forget if it's like a basketball punt for Z-Ball, but probably.
Okay. So I guess this is a question to all of us. How, just as an aside, because I was thinking about this when we thought about this topic, is how do we feel about minigames being either A, required, B, required for completion, or C, being entirely optional?
Well, if we're going to put it through the lens of the fucking Riddler trophies from the Batman series, that shit needs to go down in volume. They need to reduce it by like 50%, and I will be like better with it.
Yeah.
My brother went through and finished, I think in the first game, did the Riddlers, and then the second game said it's not worth it. I didn't even, I think I maybe got the 75% one, but
Andrea got on a kick of doing Arkham Knight, and I don't know if you know, but in that, because you have the Batmobile, there are fucking racetracks. And one of the Riddler trophies or challenges is behind a timed racetrack where you have to like pull all these maneuvers, like drifting on the wall and maneuvering around pillars and stuff. And I think like the smallest time frame you get is like 1 minute 30 seconds. And on my second attempt, I was like, no, I'm done with this. I can't handle how it drives.
Out, yeah.
I can't get the drifting down on the wall. That was like the biggest thing for me.
Like, if the game isn't designed to be a racing game, then that shouldn't be a part of completing the game.
Right.
Fair.
And like, I think that was one of the biggest criticisms that a lot of people levied against the game. It's like, why the fuck is the Riddler making race courses for the Batman instead of just like trying to kill him with traps
or like doing evil and stealing things and whatnot?
I think if I remember my brother telling me that if you did get all of the trophies in the Batman game, that it's revealed that the Riddler is doing a lot more behind the scenes than you realize, and that the Joker is not really the main, or I guess the solo villain of the game.
Sure. I only
But
played Arkham Asylum, so this is all out of my scope on the Batman games.
I played the
Well,
first two, but I was not going to complete them. Though that's not my type of game. But I love
Hmm.
Batman.
I'm coming around on Batman. I used to be like, oh yeah, yeah, this is what we need to teach kids. I win because I have money. Like, I'm starting to realize a little more than that. As I get older, like, oh, okay, no, that's not what Batman's about. But but yeah.
Batman is about perpetuating the crime in his city. These people are criminals because it's the easiest way to get money. And then they probably don't have health insurance working
Hmm.
for the Joker. And then he breaks their arms. Maybe, like they could get sepsis. He's killing these people and wondering why they continue to resort to a life
well,
of crime to pay their medical
well,
bills.
well, yeah. Let's talk about that too with Arkham Knight. You drive around the city in the Batmobile, and uh, my fiance, her son plays Arkham Knight, and I've watched several times where he just drives around in the Batmobile and just fucks with anyone that is on the street. He will literally drive into vehicles. He will just like plow straight into people, shoot them with the non-lethal projectiles and stuff like that, and just wreak havoc on them. And I'm like, yeah, no, they're dead. Especially like when he like goes back to them in like the slow crawler mode and just like gently rolls over their bodies with like I don't know a 10-ton vehicle.
Oh
And I'm like, dude, do we need to have a conversation? Like, I know it's just a video game, but I'm concerned.
I don't remember. There's like, was it Zombieland where they hit one of the zombies, something like that, where they hit someone, and they're like, hold on, and then like you think they're going to do the because they've done this in movies several times where they just back up over the person again and then go forward and hit them a third time, but like in this one, it was like they went slow. They put it like 5 miles an hour and just like you see the car lift up and go down and lift up and go down over the body. And you're like, oh man,
Yeah.
it was played as a comedy, but like I was like, whoo, that's kind of making me think of.
Mhm.
Oh boy.
Oh, but yeah, no, Batman fully kills, and I mean, we even have what is it? Wasn't it the Val Kilmer one where he just like gives the guy the bomb and is like with this weird smile, and he falls down the sewer and just blows up? Like,
Mm-hmm.
no, he kills people. It's okay.
Yeah,
It's all right. It happens.
it's it's okay.
My Batman kills people.
Yeah. Oh man, he kills people. It's okay. It's fine. Um. So yeah. So what was the first one? I guess was in Arkham City and then Asylum, right? No, Dead Space. Dead Space. We got on to Batman through something else. So number one, Dead Space, the target range, and then zero gravity dunks. All right, so I forgot to put on the Discord that we are live, so doing that now. Sasha, what's your first mini game?
This is going to be very on brand for me, but I'm going to talk about Fallout New Vegas.
Mhm.
And I especially love Fallout New Vegas because of the gambling. It's a fun way to get 20,000 caps really easily and then go upgrade yourself at the med clinic right outside of New Vegas. But I like to play blackjack to break the bank in the casinos. But there's also Caravan, which I feel very smart because I figured out how to play Caravan. Most people who have played the game have no idea how to play the game.
Mm-hmm.
I can probably tell you now, it's having not played it in a few years, that it is not like riding a bike, and I would probably get my ass beat by the computer. But there's
Yeah.
a strategy. There's a strategy.
Oh no. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a long con almost. So there are certain vendors all through the wasteland that sell single cards.
Mm-hmm.
And I learned that sometimes their cards come back when their inventory restocks.
Oh.
So I started buying. I started hoarding certain cards. I started hoarding 7s and 9s and 10s because you can very easily hit that 26 that you need to fill your column. And if you fill 3 columns with 26 points, you win the match.
Hmm.
And they can't use their jacks to clear out your columns. So I broke the game, but it also broke me because you guys know Bethesda games are known for being really buggy.
Yes.
So one of the downsides of hoarding the 7s, the 9s, and the 10s is that the game doesn't actually want you to do that. So my game froze all the time playing Caravan.
Hmm.
Froze,
Yeah.
crashed all the time.
That's always a bad feeling. So I was just as an aside to like games crashing recently. So I had been playing Wolcen, which is a Diablo clone, lately, and I got a new character all the way to the max level. And the reason why my brother and I stopped playing this game is because you would go into these end level dungeons that take like 45 minutes, and you would get a server disconnect halfway through. And you would lose all progress. You would get nothing for the 30 minutes that you had just done.
Yeah.
There have been a lot of patches. I mean, it's been over a year since I have played, and there's like a lot of patches, a lot of updates, a lot of bug fixes. So I was like, okay, is it time to come back? They've got new mechanics. They've got this new thing going on. So I go in there. First time I'm in one of those dungeons, I get booted. And I was like, you know what? No, I'm good. It was just a fluke. They said they fixed this. I'm gonna trust them. Do it a second time. Booted. Cool. Uninstalled the game. I was just like, nope, they didn't fix it. I'm out. So yeah, game crashes suck. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, my love for Bethesda runs deep, so I just accommodated them. I've been accommodating them since Morrowind days.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I would save my game before I would open a door to a new area that would load because chances were my game was going to crash before it loaded it up.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like, it says auto save, and I'm like, did you though? Did you auto save? Let me just save that again, just to make sure, because I don't want to have this conversation with this guy again.
No.
Mhm.
No, I get that. So I haven't actually. I got New Vegas recently. It was on sale.
You did?
Yeah, I have not picked it up yet. I had not picked it up as in not installed it and started playing it yet, but I do have it now. That's also where I found the Fallout Tactics game that I was freaking out while we were on recording. I was like, oh wait, I got to get this too. So
Mhm.
eventually I will play this. I'm hoping it's better than Vanilla 3. A lot of people tell me it is. So
It is. It definitely is. I think if this was a New Vegas podcast, we could talk for another 2 hours about what's better. But
okay.
I will just say it's funnier. I highly recommend you play with Wild Wasteland on,
Mm-hmm.
because there are really fun Easter eggs that don't show up in the game if you don't play with Wild Wasteland. But it does take away one of your extra like perk slots.
Mhm.
Okay.
But it's worth it. I think it's worth it.
Comedy is always worth it.
Yeah, and plus there's mini games.
Oh boy. All right, so mini games. So we'll move on to my first one, and mine is I played this game exclusively to play this mini game, and it was a game full of mini games, and it was not like that wasn't the point of the game. It was actually like a 2D like Super Nintendo platformer days game. It was called Buster Bunny Busts Loose. Looney Tunes Buster Bunny Busts Loose. So you play as Buster Bunny, which is Bugs Bunny's nephew, I think. His kid nephew. He's blue. I don't know. If you ever like baby Tiny Toons or whatever, that's who Buster Bunny is. And he had a Super Nintendo game, and there was one that was a kickoff and a single down on a football game. And it was the funnest thing to me. I'm not a big football fan, as I regularly call it hand egg. But there was something about this minigame, and it was after the end of level 1, which, by the way, the boss fights were minigames too. So, like, this game is full of minigames. Like, the end of level 1, you're in your school cafeteria, and you're fighting the Tasmanian Devil by throwing food at him as it's coming down the line. And it's a minigame of which food you can get coming down the lunch line. Like this automated conveyor belt. Like a sushi thing, like the sushi carousels that they have, except it's just lunch food. That was the minigame, but the one I liked the most was the football one. So you would get like a power thing to kick it off, and then you would have to basically see how far you could get dodging the other players, there was an infinite amount of players, either jumping, sliding, or you'd either jump or slide, and I think there was 2 heights of jumps. So you had a high jump and a mid jump, or you would slide under, and you're just basically just dodging people trying to tackle you. That's it, and you would have to guess. Like it was random. I don't think it was the same every time, but the moment you got hit, the minigame's done. And I think its brevity is what made me like it so much, because I was like, this is so fun. And like, I remember actually beating it once, like getting to the end and getting like a touchdown. You actually get an extra life for it, which is great, because the second level, like, I game overed on it the most as a kid, because I was legit scared of that level as a kid, because you were in a haunted castle with vampires and stuff. And I was like, vampires and me are not friends when I was kids. Like when I was a kid, I had a real fear of vampires. Oh man, but yeah, Buster Bunny Bust Loose, the kickoff minigame, I guess. I don't know what else to call it. The football minigame, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there's that one. Ace, what's the second one for you?
My second one is going to be the Steamworks from Iceborne. So Sasha, I know you don't know about it, but the Steamworks was a sort of in-game minigame that Monster Hunter World Iceborne had, where you press triangle, circle, and cross in random sequences to try and get 3 in a row.
Wait.
And then
You mean X, right? You mean
they call it cross?
Oh no!
I'll go with their jargon. So you're trying to get 3 in a row, and it doesn't have to be from left to right. It can be in whatever sequence it happens to be in. So it's completely randomized as you go along, and you're trying to get the meter from the left in like yellow all the way over to the right in red, and then the Steamworks like explodes basically.
Yep.
So it takes the fun of gambling essentially, and doesn't have the chance of like losing anything. So like, I would just hit that up like 3 or 4 times in a row. Yeah. Well, as you know, and I think we both pulled it off multiple times because of internet posts. A few times I would just like set my controller down after rubber banding it, just walk away, go like make myself some food and let it just auto cycle through.
Yep. I never rubber banded. I just sat there and I watched like a YouTube video or something on the computer, because if you can see my setup, that's the TV I actually play on. So I just spin the computer chair and play that, and then I'll just watch something on YouTube here or something. Like, that's just what I would do.
But yeah, no, I like the mental challenge of trying to guess which order the pattern is going to be in.
Even though it's entirely random and there is no strategy to it.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
All right. I just wanted to point
that out. Like I said,
out.
it takes the fun of gambling, because you get the sequence in a row.
Yeah.
And then you get it a couple more times in a row, and you're like, all right, I'm rolling high, and then you fuck it up, and you're like, no! and then you get certain ones where it like highlights and everything goes in red, and those are like supposed to be instance like rarer conditions that fill up the steam slightly faster.
Now, there is a benefit to doing this, Sasha, in case you don't know. You get items in the game. You gather, like, part of the Monster Hunter thing is gathering items like honey and herbs and stuff for healing items. And so, like, you can do that out in the field. This just gives you a bunch of those high-level items if you do it. So you don't have to go out there and gather items. So...
Yep. And if you get lucky enough, you can get celestial tickets, which give you like 1 per for redemptions for like dragon gems and things like that.
Which are,
so you can redeem them for rare drops.
Yeah, which are the rarest drops off of monsters. So kind of circumvents hunting them, but hey.
Gambling, but without losing money. Hooray!
Sure. So Sasha, what's your second one tonight?
I'm gonna go with the gambling topic, and my favorite part of Red Dead Redemption was Liar's Dice.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I had no idea Liar's Dice was even a real game outside of Red Dead Redemption. But
I think
I learned how to play it.
They do poker, they do blackjack, and I think Liar's Dice was real. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. I had no idea.
Yeah.
So I learned how to play it playing the game. But it was probably my biggest time waster in playing online was playing
Sure.
Liar's Dice.
Mm-hmm.
Fill your pockets and buy better stuff. But Liar's Dice was also something that after learning how to play it in the game, we would also play in real life. And pretty much learned that nobody wanted to play with me ever.
Doesn't that suck? You find something you like doing and everyone's like, you're too good. I'm not playing with you. You're like, damn it.
That's every experience I have with most competitive games.
Right? Oh, man.
Yeah.
Among Us yet?
I've never played Among Us. But
I haven't either.
I feel like I'll get addicted to it. Is why I haven't played it.
Mm-hmm.
We need to get the lobby together. Start seeing who's a good liar under pressure and who isn't.
Spoilers.
That's not even how I play Liar's Dice, though. I play Liar's Dice like Rain Man, honestly. Like, I'm just like doing numbers in my head, and I'm like, what's the chances of that being the truth?
I gotcha. Yeah, no, I'd be terrible. I'd be absolutely terrible if we played Among Us. I would die. I would be a terrible killer. I would just, like, anyone whose team I'm on, they're just like, oh God, why do I have Cham? Why? I am not good at lying. Like, funny life story, for me, when I was first married to the ex, the only thing I have ever lied to her about was chores. Ever. And it was hilariously badly so. Like, did you do the laundry? Yes, I did. I see the laundry has not been done. It is sitting here. No, I did it. And I would commit to that lie. And then she was like, you're so terrible. And I'm like, this is the point where you had to we had a washing machine. You had to manually switch to which cycle it was on. So you'd have to go downstairs every like 5 or so minutes and actually manually turn it to the next spot. And I was like, I'm not doing this. I had a long day at work. I'm coming home. I'm not doing this.
That's where you go and get out of it via a loophole. You say, yeah, I did it. In the future.
That doesn't work either, man.
I can tell you what works, which is just don't dig your heels in. Yeah, no. Just be like, I'm sorry, I didn't do it.
Yeah. No, I learned eventually.
It's the lie.
No, yeah, I learned eventually that, yeah, I just didn't. Did you clean? Yeah, did you clean this? No, I didn't. Why didn't you? Because I didn't want to. It's purely what it became later on.
That's a much better choice.
Yeah, and then
she's asking the question. She already knows.
Yeah. No, I actually, so that was the thing. Like, I had to learn because I have always not been a very neat person, but I learned how to really, really well eventually. Eventually, even though that's unorganized quite a bit right there. But anyways, so yeah, so Liar's Dice from Red Dead.
Yes, Red Dead Redemption. That was the most fun I had, honestly, playing that game. I don't know why. It just felt really smart. I think that's what it is. I like feeling smart when I play games, like I've outsmarted other people.
Yeah, it's definitely a fun one. So I'm going to go back to that whole sushi carousel thing, and I'm going to talk about Pokemon Stadium's Lickitung sushi game, where you had to get the best sushi points. I love that game. I don't know why. Probably because I actually had a chance at winning at it against my brother, who is an insanely good button masher, and that's what all the other mini games in that game is. But you basically play as a Lickitung, and you're looking up lines of sushi and eating them for points off of the sushi carousel. And I always thought that was interesting. And that's actually what got me curious about sushi. I'd never had it at that point. And I love sushi now. Now, I will say this. I love some sushi. I'm not really into some of the stuff, but I would say eel is my favorite.
I love sushi, but I will spit blue crab out. I will spit it out. I don't care if I'm in a restaurant or not.
Yeah, there's certain ones. Like I'm not. I took a couple times to learn. I'm just not a fan of salmon sushi. I love salmon normally. Salmon sushi, no.
That's like, if that's the only thing I could have, I'd be fine.
Oh no, my favorite one's eel. All the time, eel. We went to a hibachi grill the other day. My family did, and they're like, "Oh yeah, let's all get hibachi." And I was like, "I'm getting eel sushi rolls because I haven't had them in years. So this is what I'm getting, and I'm gonna watch everyone else enjoy the hibachi while I sit here and eat my sushi."
Both when I go to Benihana, like I plan to just like wear some fat pants, like it's Thanksgiving. I'm gonna get the sushi roll. I'm gonna get like a double for chicken fried rice. Put some extra egg in that. Give me the whole thing.
Oh man, the guy doing the chefing, I guess I'll call it, with the show and everything. He's really good, and you did all the tricks with the egg and spinning it and flipping around and stuff, and lands on the side of it and it breaks, and he's like, haha, I did it really well. And he's like, he looked at me and he was just like, just sushi? I was like, yeah, sushi's great. And he's like, you're right. I'm just like, and my family hates sushi, all of them. I'm the only one to like it. And then they're all like, ew, like, how could you do this? So yeah, the Lickitung sushi minigame from the original Pokemon Stadium on 64. So Ace, number 3.
Number 3 is going to be another double. Mario Party.
Oh boy.
2 of my favorites from that are the from the more recent entry, the steak searing one.
Oh
where
yeah,
you
that's
flip
a good
the
one.
little meat cube in the pan.
My daughter,
and then the other one.
My older daughter is very good at that. She almost beats me every time.
Yeah, that is one of the games that I am better at. I sure can't cook in real life very well, but I could fucking sear a steak in Mario Party pretty quickly.
Well, see, the thing is, you sear a steak in Mario Party, it doesn't get burned if you leave it on too long. That's the problem in real life.
yeah, there is that.
Yeah.
And then the other one that I really like is the one where you create faces by dropping the components of the face down onto like the head template.
Yeah, like the Tetris face one. Yeah.
It combines my love of claw grab machines, and again without having to lose money for doing it, and then it has the happy byproduct of creating some really, really stupid looking faces if you mess it up.
I always always like, who would ever like gambling? It doesn't make any sense. And I'm learning this about Ace. Ace likes gambling.
I do, but I don't like losing money.
It's fair.
I would never gamble in real life. I like gambling in video games.
No, that's fair.
No real consequences.
That's fair. No, my there's a casino that's about an hour away from us, and my mom likes to go. So like every once in a while, I'll be like, "Well, we went out to dinner like this Friday," and they're like, "Yeah, we're gonna go to the casino. Bye." And I was like, "What? What? When did? Who told me about this?" You know. All right, sure. Have fun later. It's just I don't know.
Extent of my gambling is like when there's like football pools or something where
Gotcha.
it's minimal input. Great if you win, no big deal if you don't. But
Yeah, I guess I did do college March Madness brackets in the same way, where it was free. I didn't have to pay anything, and then there was a payout if I won. I almost won one year by picking based on the mascot. Almost. Because I don't follow any sports. And I was like, they're like,
Nice.
I got like 4 or 5 upsets right that year. It was like a year of like a bunch of upsets for some reason. And they were like, how did you know? And I was like, well, I didn't. And they're like, well, yeah, of course you couldn't. But like, did you know anything? I was like, oh, well, which one was like the upset that was like, because like, I guess I had got a 2 seed over a 15 seed. Correct. Like I bet on the 15 seed. And, they're like, how, like, why would you ever do that? And I was like, I mean, I figured that a badger was more interesting than a cavalier, so I went with the badger. So, oh boy. So, Mario Party, face drop, and then, what was the other one? What you cut out?
Meat cube sear.
Oh yes, the meat sear. Yeah, you're like, it sounded like a warble just whoop whoop on my end. I was like, what the heck was that? Okay. So, Sasha, your third one.
I'm gonna go with Gwent from The Witcher 3.
Ooh, that's a good choice. Yeah.
Yes, which I actually almost brought up when we were talking about things we're proud of, gaming achievements we're proud of.
Yeah.
Because I really put a lot of effort into The Witcher 3's Gwent. It is quite a challenge to get every single card. There's like rare cards that you have to hunt down as like missions, and then I think there's like a missable one. I had to look up a guide for something, and then of course there is the tournament, which has hand-to-hand combat, which I suck at in The Witcher 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was very proud when I got that achievement because it kept showing up in my quest log as a very hard, like, don't do this right now. And I'm like, but it's fucking cards. Why does it matter?
Right.
So I'm like, I'm just gonna do it, whatever. I have my whole deck ready to go. So I go in to play it and I get through the first 2 matches, and then this guy wants to fist fight me, and he's like way higher level than me, and I suck at fist fighting in The Witcher 3.
Mm-hmm.
So I died over and over and over again. And I'm like, am I just gonna have to reload this and like play the card game later? Like, did I ruin this for myself? I actually ended up like, I took a whole break, didn't play for like a week, and then came back like, okay, I'm calm, I'm ready, let's do this.
Mm-hmm.
So I prevailed, and then the last card match was easy, and I learned why it was a very hard quest in my log, because I should not have done that at like level 30 something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's okay. I
loved the card game. It's fun.
I played the standalone card game quite a bit on Good Old Games. The standalone Gwent, which is different from the in-game one.
I briefly played the standalone game when it was still in beta.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't know, life happened.
Yeah.
I deleted it, never went back to it.
Yeah, I never really enjoyed its mechanics too much, at least the standalone one. It was a little, I don't know. it didn't feel like being a Magic the Gathering player for a long time. I was just like, yeah, this is not doing it for me. This is
Mhm.
this is just not. Um, okay, so Gwent and fist fighting because of Gwent. All right. Um, so this is a third. So my third one is also Mario Party related. Um, and it's a single one, and it's bumper balls. I love bumper balls, and it's just a bumper car derby on a cliff in Mario Party. You're just on balls, and you just bump each other off.
Yeah, that one, yeah.
Bump. I had so much fun. So there was a point in time, and I don't remember the situation, but I had to. My mom was gone doing something one summer, and I actually was babysat by my friend's parents for a time. So it was just like, hey, all summer you're just gonna go over to your friend's house and play games all summer. And that's what we did. And we played literally hours of just bumper balls with me, my brother, my friend, and his sister. Just the four of us. Just hours of bumper balls, and it was hilarious every time. The stuff, the strategies that you would try to pull just to like try to get one up on each other. We had like a whole bumper ball metagame going on eventually. It was just, I loved it. I loved every minute of it. You would do stuff like, hey, during the beginning, instead of going straight forward, because that's your thought, right? Like you just, oh, okay, straightforward. Um, there would you would do stuff like wait, and then just move off to the side, and they'd be going so fast they would just fly off the cliff because of the momentum. And you're like, haha, tricked you, or stuff like that. Like it was a lot of fun. It was also a lot of fun to sort of be like the counter to that play to sort of be like go straight forward, but then turn in the middle because like once you commit to a movement, it's hard to uncommit. So even the whole dodge strategy where you're making them go off the cliff, you've just actually killed them now because you've ran into them as they're trying to go to the side, and it was really good stuff. I had a lot of good memories with that one in particular. And then they brought bumper balls back in the latest one. I know that, and the girls and I had some fun with that. But they're little girls. They don't like losing sometimes, and I don't want to be. I'm not going to be the dad that wins every time, but I'm also not going to be the dad that lets them win every time too. So
Can tell you, as someone who grew up with parents that did not ever let me win, I am very, very competitive, and I'm a really, really sore winner and loser. Just throwing that out there.
well, I am trying not to instill that in the girls. I am trying to be a little fair. But I mean, there's like I was saying, like the steak cube thing. Like I legit try at that, and the girls, dang, there beat me a lot of the time. I think Cece actually did beat me once, so she was over the moon on that one. But yeah, so that's number 3. Ace, number 4.
Um, do we have to have actually played the mini game before?
I mean,
Shout it out. Go for it.
Okay.
sorry.
It's gonna be specifically because it was a Game Grumps moment.
Okay, sure.
I really, really like, and it's continuing with the gambling theme, unfortunately. So I'm not doing myself any favors here. I really, really like the roulette minigame from Dead or Alive, specifically
Oh,
because of Aaron's method of just betting on one number and doing it over and over and over and over again until you win,
I saw
and
this.
doing the doubles and the color. Because when he finally won, they lost it, and then with how the game is programmed, it just drops like a giant ass stack castle of chips on the screen, and
Yep.
it was hilarious to witness.
Yeah, it was.
So like, if I ever do play one of those games, casino is up there in terms of what I'm gonna do.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. Okay. So, what are the? There's a name. No, it's just called roulette. Yeah. So the roulette from Dead or Alive, and it was the beach volleyball, right?
Beach volleyball?
Was it Dead or Alive? There was some sort of cutesy game. I remember they were playing.
Well, yeah, Dead or Alive. I think isn't that the series where basically you try to like get dates or romance women by giving them gifts over and over again or something like that,
Okay,
or just
that's the beach.
winning challenges.
That's the beach volleyball version. Dead or Alive is actually the main series is a fighting game. If you didn't know that.
Oh yeah, I did. Okay, so
Yeah.
specifically then that one game.
Yeah. You're it's an offshoot. It's a non-main series game that they were
Gotcha. Sorry, Dead or Alive fans out there, if any of them listen to us.
I'm sure most of the Dead or Alive fans like those side games more than the main game. I'm gonna. Yeah, they are one of the innovators in jiggle physics. I think they coined the term.
Fair enough.
Just to audio listeners, I'm just shaking my head no. Just there's some weird people out there. Oh boy. All right. And I'm not saying that you're weird, Ace, for not liking that. I'm just saying that you were watching a show. I get it.
I don't usually do video games, but I have other methods. But whatever. Everyone likes their own niche market.
Yes.
So.
So Sasha, number 4 for you.
I couldn't decide which mini game I liked the best from Saints Row.
Mm-hmm.
So I wrote down a couple.
Okay.
So the 3 that I thought were the most fun when I played the Saints Row series were insurance fraud, where basically you are trying to get hit by cars and ragdoll your body and take as much damage to your body as possible and
Yes.
rack up the largest medical bill.
I've never
Mayhem.
played one of those games.
Mayhem, where you are. I think there's 2 different versions of it. Where one you have an RPG, and another one I'm not sure what you have, but I think it's like a minigun or a flamethrower or something. But you try to do as much property damage as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And you also accumulate stars with the police. So eventually, like tanks and stuff start showing up, and the faster you do it, the bigger your bonus is going to be.
Yeah.
And then my favorite one, because I am a child and I have gross out 15-year-old boy humor, is called Septic Avenger. And you drive a septic truck and you spray shit everywhere and try to cause as much property damage as possible.
I love it. That's great. Oh man. Obviously, I have the same sense of humor. If that's so hilarious.
I've never played one of those games before, but I might have reason to now.
I mean, I think if you like sandbox games, if you like Grand Theft Auto, and you have gross out little boy humor, Saints Row is it. I would start with Saints Row 2 though. Saints Row 1 had some bugs. They worked it out by the second game.
Also, Saints Row 1, didn't they not have the sense of humor at all, really?
They did and they didn't. So it was a little bit more serious along the lines of like writing a story about gang activity. And they actually had some very good top-notch voice actors in there. I think like Eliza Dushku is in that. And Keith David, I think, voices somebody in there.
Okay.
So there are some funny things in the first game too, though. So you have Escort, where you're a pimp and your woman's in the back making that money, and you got to make sure that you don't. Sometimes the girlfriend of the John is trying to hit your car, so you're trying to get away from that while they're finishing the job. Other times the cops are trying to bust you, so you just got to make sure people finish, and then there's also There's another one called. Ooh, man, hang on. But basically, you're also a pimp, and you're trying to. Oh, it's called Snatch, and you're trying to recruit hoes to join you.
Gotcha.
Very on brand.
But it is with consent. You ask them, they get in the car if they want to join the cause, or they walk away.
Gotcha.
It's respectful.
I like the phrasing there. Join the cause. Have you heard the good word?
Well, it is the cause, though, because part of it is that you're trying to take over Stillwater, and you're trying to get a certain amount of money so that you can purchase up property and things. So they are joining the cause.
Just, you know, in a different way. Financially, I suppose. Yeah.
So a zombie game, like another mini game in there that it's in like an arcade cabinet in your crib, and it has the same mechanics as the game, but all of the enemies are zombies, and it's pretty fun, a nice little diversion, but not as funny, I think, as some of the mini games actually are.
Sure. Okay. So my number 4 is going to come in Doom Eternal. And that is, there is a Bejeweled, match 3 game on a terminal that you match barrels and imps and zombies and stuff. And if you match barrels, they're like the things that blow up and blow up all the screen, because like the barrels blow up in the games, right? And I will say there's a tough crowd between it and Doom 2016 and Doom 3 for mini games, because the original ones didn't have mini games. Also, Doom Eternal has a full running version of Doom 2 on a console, so like you can just go in, play on the console, and just play Doom 2 inside of Doom Eternal, which is actually kind of fun, and it's actually fully functional and acts like Doom 2. So that's a tough competitor for it. But there's also Turkey Puncher HD, which is literally, it's like a old classic Doom of him just punching turkeys till they die, and it's hilarious. And stuff like that. But the monster match is actually a well thought out Bejeweled like match 3 clone that is just barrels and zombies and stuff, and you have to get enough points for an achievement that isn't over the top. It's not an insane amount. It took me maybe 5 minutes to get it right, to learn the game and then get the points. I actually really enjoy it. Now I could be wrong. This could be in 2016 that this match 3 was in. The mini games kind of blend between the two for me. The games are vastly different in gameplay, but like the mini games could be in anywhere in any of the maps. I might be wrong. It might be in 2016. But I know that Eternal has some mini games as well, including the full Doom 2. But yeah, so Bejeweled Doom is what I'll call it. The match 3 Doom. It's actually really fun. I wish they kind of made a standalone of it on the phone or something, because I'd play it. But I like match 3 games, so there we go. So number 5, Ace.
My number 5 is going to be the computer game that is inside the game Night in the Woods. It's called Demon Tower, it's basically an in-game dungeon crawler in that game.
Yeah, it's actually really in-depth.
Yeah. I have not beaten it yet, but that's
it's
on the to-do list next time I play the game.
It's weird to say this, but I think it's true. Night in the Woods is a great game, but it is mostly a story-driven dialogue game.
Mm-hmm.
That minigame has more gameplay than all of the other game. I'm pretty sure, but
I haven't beaten it yet, so I wouldn't know.
I think so. As in far as like active gameplay, right? I mean, you're doing stuff in Night in the Woods, but it's a great game though. I actually really like it. What did I call that? We did an episode on it ages ago. I'm gonna find it. But yeah, we did one of our side quests. You know, back when we had side quest, was that game. Oh gosh, there's so many. So yeah. Oh, there it is. Mental cat fever dreams. That's what I called the episode about that. Mental cat fever dreams.
That game, if you've ever played it, so
Yeah, it was a good game. A good game. So Sasha, what's your final one?
I'm gonna go actually to a PlayStation game.
Okay. Well,
Um,
jumping the sides of the river.
yeah, I am, and we're gonna go back like 15 years or so. Um, to Mortal Kombat Armageddon, which is not the most critically acclaimed game, but it had a really
Ooh.
really fun diversion in it called Motor Kart with a K.
Oh yes.
And it was a lousy Mario Kart clone.
Yeah, but with Sorcerer
it was
and
really
Scorpion. Fun. Yeah.
yeah. So I remember that was also a really fun diversion for me and my friends and my brother. And yeah, I always played as Melina because the characters in the computer was cheap and somehow would just get like extra speed boosts all the time. So you could be in first place, and then at the very end they just right past you. So Melina's special was a speed boost. So you hoard that at the very end and speed into the first place.
Nice. In MKX, Melina was my main until they patched out her best combo. Literally patched it out. She wasn't even winning tournaments or anything. They were just like, "Hey, you Melina players, fuck you." I'm like, "What? Why?" And I never played MKX again.
Fair enough.
But yeah. I played a little bit of that Mortal Kart. I don't know whether Mortal Kombat Kart or something.
Kart.
Yeah, and
keeping it simple.
I will be right back.
It was like it was one of those things where I play something that's like similar to something I like, and then I'm just like, I'd rather just play what I like. So I went and started playing Mario Kart again when that happened. Like I was like, oh, that was fun. It was a good diversion, but I kind of just want to play Mario Kart now. I have this problem a lot of times.
I didn't play a ton of Mario Kart, like GameCube or anything. I played on 64, but I didn't own it. My friends did, so I only got to play it when I was at someone's house. So Motor Kart scratched an itch.
Mm-hmm.
My racing game growing up, my kart racer was Crash Team Racing.
Oh yeah, okay, that's fair because you were. Of all the things, you were least of all a Nintendo person. I do remember that.
Not by choice. It was kind of like growing up, my family didn't have the money to have like everything. So you got to pick one and you better be committed to it. So
no, that's fair. That is entirely fair. I was actually kind of lucky game-wise growing up because I was a hardcore Nintendo fan since I was a kid. And that was by choice. Actually, my late uncle, had introduced me to Mario, and then he had passed away like maybe a week later or something like that. And I was like 4. So I was like, that left an impression on me like, I'm gonna play Mario. Like I want to play Mario. Like I want that. Like, and then I ended up being a Nintendo fan because of that. But every time a PlayStation system came out, my dad would be interested in it and he would buy it and then he wouldn't play it and it would become ours. So like I always also had every PlayStation. So it was just sort of like happenstance. And there was, I think it was it came with the PlayStation 3 specifically, where I was just like, okay, I have run out of things to play on the Wii. I am just plain out of things that I want to play. So then I got a PS3. And then my PlayStation, by by choice. I have been Nintendo and PlayStation by choice since, and sometimes Xbox.
I remember that my parents bought a PlayStation 1 when they first came out, and it was like blew my mind because
Mm-hmm.
I pretty much didn't expect we were going to get anything like that. I did,
Right.
it wasn't something that I thought my parents could afford, but we got it for Christmas, and it was like enjoy it. This is what you're getting,
Yeah.
and that's pretty much it. And so we were PlayStation family for a long time, and then my mom's brother, he is a huge video game person, and he would always buy the new consoles when they came out. And then eventually he'd just be like, "Here you go," to one of his nieces or nephews. So I actually ended up joining what you call the dark side because I got a hand-me-down Xbox. And
I'm mostly joking. Like, the only reason why I have not been an Xbox fan is I'm not really big on a lot of their series other than Halo. And Halo hasn't been good in how long? Reach is the last time I enjoyed it enough to actually have a system. So, yeah. And I don't even have to get a system now. I'm just December. I'm just going to be playing on this computer right here. But yeah, no, yeah, it's fun. I like Halo quite a bit. It's bringing nostalgia for that game. But yeah, so my final one, right? So we did Mortal Kart for you, and then Ace, your final one was just remind me.
Demon Tower from Night in the Woods.
Right, Demon Tower. Okay, so my favorite one, and it's actually a recent one for me. It's not my absolute favorite one, but one of my top. I didn't order mine in any direction, but I've been playing a lot of No More Heroes lately. Now, overall, I just want to make this comment. When I first played No More Heroes, this stuff was funny. Now that I'm older, it's kind of annoying. The juvenileness of this game. However, there are some legit fun mini games in here, especially in No More Heroes 2, and I've never played 2 until recently. I only just started it. But there is a how do you describe it? Like Zombies Ate My Neighbors style Terminix game where you are Travis Touchdown and you are ridding the world of bugs. And you have a vacuum and you are vacuuming up bugs and you are finding power-ups to make your vacuum more powerful to suck up bigger bugs. Now they call them bugs, but they are not just bugs. I mean, you get like scorpions eventually, like giant scorpions that you have to suck up. But it's just like, I would play a whole game of this, and it would be really cool if it was something like Ghostbusters. It reminds me, if you've played the versus mode in Luigi's Mansion, where you have the ghosts running around, and you're in the maze, the top-down maze with Luigi, and you're trying to suck up the ghosts. That's what it is, except it's just with bugs and rats and stuff. It's just really, I don't know, it was just really entertaining. And then it ends, like, you only get 4 stages, and I'm like, but I want to do that again. Now, unfortunately, you do these mini games in No More Heroes to get money to pay for like your upgrades and that kind of stuff, and also pay in the first one for your entrance fees into the fights. The unfortunate part is this is one of the lowest payout mini games. It's the funnest one, but it's also the lowest payout one. I was just like, dang it. So now I got to do the stupid space one that feels like Lunar Lander, and I hate it because it's hard. Because that gives the most money. But yeah, I don't know. That whole series is full of mini games because it's like its whole formula is go do fights, between fight, pay for fight with mini games, and then go do fight. It's just, it's interesting. If you guys have never played No More Heroes, I'm not sure I can recommend it in these days. I would have full-heartedly recommended it when it came out, but
Not so much anymore.
when you're literally jacking off your beam saber to charge it up. I'm a little over it these days. I'm a little over it.
Fair enough.
Oh man. So yeah, we did that pretty quick. That was an hour. 5 mini games each. I had to dig for some of these, like the sushi one. It took me a while to remember. Yeah, it was just like, yeah, I remember playing that like umpteen years ago. It was N64 days, so gosh. I would have been like what, 12 at the oldest at that time. Shoo. But anyways, so we're talking a little bit about the PlayStation news. This was supposed to be directly for PlayStation 5 stuff. Am I right, Ace?
I would assume that they're still having PS4 releases for these, just because they'd kind of be shooting themselves in the foot since most people can't get PS5s because of all the bots and scalpers. But
Yeah, but then they risk having the problem that Xbox is having with this like XS optimized kit, which is, yeah, great, you can buy it on your Series X, but it's not gonna work.
Yeah,
that's unfortunate. Yeah, I still have a lot of friends that want to get PS5s and Series X's, and they're getting fucked every time there's a drop.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
my brother's still trying to get a hold of one. Now. Oh, we found one. We found a PS5.
Oh,
at Aaron's, a furniture store. You know how much they wanted for it?
3,000.
1,800.
Yeah.
I was
Scalper
like,
prices.
Oh yeah. I was like, I found the scalpers, Chance. I found them. It's Aaron's.
So glancing at this list here, looks like Gran Turismo 7 is the only one that has mentioned is also coming out for PlayStation 4.
Yeah, because I think this specifically was said at here's the PS5 event. I think that's
okay.
I think that's part of it. Now, granted, I didn't watch this. I have watched highlights and read stuff afterwards because, I'm gonna be honest, I haven't been really following along with PlayStation lately. I have Returnal. I hate it. I really don't like it. Yeah, my PlayStation 5 right now is mostly just playing Netflix and YouTube and stuff. Like, I have not been gaming a lot on it at all. I played Call of Duty for that short stint for like a month and a half, and that was it. Lately.
I wanted to catch it live as it was going on, but I was at work, so I only got to see the trailers vicariously during downtime. But I will say the top 4 that I liked, Wolverine, definitely. I mean, pretty stereotypical, but he's one of my favorite X-Men. So I'm interested to see this new game that he's going to be getting. The last one I think I played.
Hopefully a good one, a good Wolverine game.
Hopefully an M-rated one, because I mean he's got blades that straight up slice people in half. This better not be like some nerfing shit that like we saw with Black Panther. Because in Black Panther, like Killmonger, is that the
Killmonger's the bad guy.
He like straight up cuts one of the guards on the neck, and there's nothing. And I'm like, why wouldn't you just go for like the normal stab?
He just missed the artery by that much. He just missed it by that much. That's all. Yeah.
He did enough to knock her out temporarily.
Yep.
And then
no Turok
we got
stuff
Spider-Man.
Here.
Spider-Man 2, which I'm super excited for.
I find it really funny that they called it 2 because we have Spider-Man Miles Morales, and now there's Spider-Man 2, which is the third Spider-Man game by them, which I think is funny.
Well, I would say that Miles Morales is more of a side story. Um, and like, I know there are some people out there who are like, they should have just included this as DLC for the first game and blah 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 blah. And I'm just like,
No,
eh,
no,
eh.
I
Like
think
Dead Rising 2 off the record, where it's like, first you're Chuck, and now you're Frank. And it's the exact same game.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, Miles Morales is
Which-
very different because Miles controls differently. He has different abilities, and there's a different story, an entirely different story. Yeah, I platinumed Spider-Man, and then I finished Miles Morales because that was one of those games where I looked at it and I was like, no, I'm not doing that. That is an achievement I will not be doing, so I will not be platinuming this game. And it was like, one of them was like, take no damage on a base mission. And I'm like, no, I get damaged all the time. I'm the worst Spider-Man fighter in the world. I love the game, but no, I come out of these fights like barely alive, and I'm not even playing hard mode.
Not to platinum that game, so I must have done that. I probably did it in the super cop out way of just go on the ceiling and like clear the first wave
Yeah,
by sticking them all to the ceiling,
yeah.
because then it auto triggers into them knowing where you are and attacking.
Now I platinumed the first
But
one.
yeah.
But Miles Morales was much harder in that aspect. But but my opinion is I'm actually very hyped for the second Spider-Man 2. I mean, we're getting Venom, right? Like,
Yes.
I love Venom. I mean, Spider-Man literally is the only superhero outside of because of the Marvel movies, Captain America, that I care about. Like, Marvel made me care about Captain America. Captain America before the Marvel movies had those weird, stupid wings on his eyebrows that I was like, this guy looks stupid, and I hate him, and I'm never picking him in any of these Marvel games. This is dumb. But the movies made me like him. But Spider-Man has always been the one superhero I like. So like I am very hyped for the Spider-Man and Venom too. And then also the fact that you have both Peter and Miles together, like that's cool. That's cool. I like that quite a bit.
I'm excited to see if they're gonna have sort of like in Arkham Knight the combo takedowns where you like tag team to bring down enemies. That'd be interesting to see, since they sort of tease that possibly being a thing with the trailer,
Yes.
because they web up a guy and slam him on the ground.
Now that was a cutscene, so that could entirely not be there too.
Yeah, I said possibly. So
Yeah. No.
I'm not getting my hopes too high, but do you have any speculation on who else besides Venom we might see?
Yeah, they always have a lot of characters there. Well, they've already eliminated Doc Ock. Doc Ock is just out of the picture. Gosh.
Yes and no. I mean, he's in prison.
I don't see
I
them
f-
doing a thing like, oh, we're gonna bust them all. They're not gonna pull Spider-Man 3 where they just throw everything in the kitchen sink in there. But
Yeah, I think definitely we'll be seeing Green Goblin, because they've sort of teased
they have teased
Osborn for two games now.
Yes, yeah, I agree. Yeah, Green Goblin's definitely a thing.
Mhm.
They pulled out a lot of those heroes in Miles Morales, though. I'm not as familiar with the villains in Spider-Man outside of the main ones as I am with other things, though. Because like Spider-Man's always had a select few that have been really problematic, but then the gallery of all the other ones that were one-offs. It feels like so.
Right.
I don't know.
I mean, Craven could be an interesting one.
Have we seen Lizard Man yet? I don't think we have.
I don't think
Isn't
so.
there a female symbiote?
Yes, at some point, yes.
Shriek, isn't that her name? Or Scream?
Yeah, there was one.
Yeah. Morbius. I know they're having Jared Leto as Morbius, so maybe we'll get a video game Morbius at some point.
Funny story. I just recently, a couple weeks ago, saw the Venom movie. boy,
Mhm.
that was enjoyable. I liked that
Mm-hmm.
because I like the why basically you find out Venom is just the punk of his world too. He's
Yeah.
like he's got shit you haven't even dreamed of. Like I was like, oh, Venom's not the best. Okay, that's scary. But I don't know.
Yeah. I like the phrasing with it too. You see, on my world, I'm a loser too.
Yeah. Yes.
Um,
I like
and
how he
then
admits it
because yeah,
too. Yeah.
and then Pan wanted us to make sure that we mentioned Kotar,
Yeah.
which I've never played that, but I know that there is a lot of fan base love around Revan, and a lot of people were talking about Revan possibly getting like his own movie or TV show.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I
fine
assume
with the
he's
game.
the protagonist in that.
mhm.
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't played the game, so
Yeah,
I
I
would
haven't either.
assume he's a major player in it, at least.
Now, I did the one of the things I did watch to sort of catch up on this was Maximilian Dude's reaction to this stuff, just because I find him entertaining, and he mentioned something I didn't know. But apparently, Knights of the Old Republic was more of an Xbox title before, and the fact that this is PlayStation 5 exclusive right now is a bit of a crossing.
Gonna
the
be
river.
Windows. Gonna come out on Windows PC, but
Yeah, but the fact that Xbox isn't getting it,
yeah, I'm a little
console-wise.
annoyed.
No, I understand that. That's the
fine.
evil of exclusivity.
I'll just plug my Xbox controller into my computer and play it.
Mm-hmm. Which, like I said, hands down, Xbox is just 100% better for a controller on the computer. I mean, look at it right here. It's what I use on my computer. So, if I use a controller. I do have to give that caveat. I don't use the controllers as often as I used to anymore on the PC. I'm evolving into the mouse and keyboard player. I'm sorry. Oh man. So yeah, Knights of the Old Republic. I will be playing this for the first time, probably. It's got enough hype and buzz, and I like Star Wars enough that I will probably play this. It'll actually probably be the first thing I get on my PlayStation 5 that is a PlayStation 5 game in a long time. I can't think of anything else coming out for PlayStation 5 that I remotely give a shit about. So, and other than Spider-Man.
I am excited for Dad of Boy, Rock and Roll.
Yes.
Um,
Holy
although
cow.
I have to say, just like with Endgame, y'all need to stop fucking fat shaming Thor, especially since people aren't realizing that the Thor that we're seeing with God of War Ragnarok is terrifying if you actually think about it, because he's built similar to like Maui in Moana
Mm-hmm.
or the mountain in Game of Thrones. And you wouldn't call either, well, people call Maui fat because people want to fat shame and be fat phobic,
Yeah.
but they're not fat. They are like truly jacked because they have actual strength and not just like the show muscles where you've got
Yeah.
like an 18 pack of abs and your biceps are like roiling as you stretch. No, I am concerned for Atreus because like his little twig arms are just gonna snap if Thor gets his hands on him, or he's just gonna rip them plain off like weeding a garden.
Yeah.
It's y'all should be afraid. Y'all shouldn't be dunking on Thor like this. Honestly.
Have you seen the Thor picture, Sasha?
Oh, I'm gonna look it up.
Is built.
But I mean, I've seen the mountain in Game of Thrones, so
Yes.
Yeah. Like, and if I don't know if you've actually seen Half Thor Bjornsson in like the World's Strongest Man competitions, but he like destroys the competition in those frequently. Um,
Oh, I
'cause
see what
is
you're
it?
talking about with this dad bod.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, essentially it's Dad Bod
like
Thor. Which
he's fucking built.
it was played off as a joke in the was it in part 1 and 2 the what's it called, the last
Are you
thing?
talking about Endgame?
Yeah, Endgame, there you go. Yeah.
I think Thor looks like the Big Show.
Okay.
Not in Endgame, but in this God of War thing.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
looks like the Big Show. He's got the Big Show's body.
Yeah, I mean, I am overweight. I am not built, so I am not going to be saying that I am super strong guy, because I am not. I know I am not. But it is nice to see representation where it is, right? Like, it is why I really like the Anjanath armor in Monster Hunter, because I will rock that dad bod in Monster Hunter all day. Because I am not, the quintessential like fit guy. I never have been. In high school, I was the opposite. I was the too skinny to be fit guy, and then I went to college, and then I got overweight because college sucks. It is stressful, and I drove like 3 to 4 hours a day every day, and lived off of spaghetti and Mountain Dew. Oh boy.
It's funny. Those World's Strongest Man competitions. One of the competitions that they do is basically picking up and swinging over these like 10 to 15-foot tall hammers,
Mm-hmm.
and at the end of them they have like a 200 kilogram weight, a 250 kilogram weight, and a 350 kilogram weight. So like, it's not just like a lifting thing. It's like you go up
Yeah.
as you try to walk it straight, and like half Thor Bjornsson, like I gotta give him credit for making it look as easy as he does, because some of those other guys like struggle to even get one or two of them, but he just like powers through all three. So
I heard that the sword that the Mountain carries in Game of Thrones, he's the only one who can carry it by himself. That
Mhm.
like the set people have to team up to move it.
yeah,
Yeah.
that would make sense.
There's swords are heavy. Swords are extremely heavy. So my uncle is a blacksmith, and he created a 7 foot tall sword. He's the only one who could move it himself. Also, my uncle is a very big guy as well. He's like, I think he's like 6'4", 6'5", something like that. In comparison, I am like 6'8". Oh, not 6. 5'8". I am 5'8". I am not even 6.
I think
I am the smallest in my family, in my generation, including the women. I am so I am not that tall, but he is. All the tall genes went to my brother and everyone else except for me. But I've seen that sword, and that sword I've not tried to pick it up, but like I've seen him carry it around, and he still drags it. It's like, there's that Dark Souls boss that drags his giant sword. That's what it looks like. Like he's just like,
Notorious or whatever it is.
yeah,
With the broken arm. If I remember correctly, I think we had a medieval arms expert come into middle school when I was younger,
yeah,
and he explained that like they had swords that were that large back in the day, specifically meant for horses,
mm-hmm.
like
Yeah,
not people, just horses.
yeah. They
So
would cut the horse off at the legs. Yeah,
mhm.
yeah. And there were specific boots made for swords, because you would get the tip stuck in the ground and you would kick the sword to get it out of the ground. So you would have
Yeah.
a specific toe kick to get the sword stuck out from the ground. There's all sorts of crazy stuff that you're like, what now? And now it's the thing is those big swords were not meant to be sharp too. They're just meant to crush the armor, not pierce it. Just crush it.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, a sword for crushing. Why not a hammer? I mean, like, but I mean, a little more wieldy than a hammer, I guess. It's just like the physics that go into weapons like this. Like, I understand that with the mountain sword because like that was a big dude too, wasn't he? Like, he was like something in 7 foot range, wasn't he?
I feel like he is actually the 6'8".
Oh, okay.
Let's see. 6'9". Yeah.
Almost 7. Yeah. Wow. Just a few inches short.
He's just 2 meters tall. That's all.
Just like with Shaq. Just like with Shaq, there's like pictures out there of him like next to his like fiance, wife, whatever, and she's just like dwarfed compared to him.
Same one as the woman who's married to the mountain. I'm like, this is like her last photo before he breaks her.
Oh, jeez. Oh, no, I am excited for Ragnarok as well. I forgot about that. See, this is the thing is like everything is so far on the horizon for the PS5 that I'm just like, what am I playing now? I'll tell you what I've been playing: PC games, because like there's nothing. Well, and some Switch stuff, but even Switch doesn't have a ton of things coming out that I'm like super hyped for. Like, we have another Monster Hunter on the horizon somewhere, right? That's all what I know. I had Diablo 2 coming out, but I already have Diablo 2, so it's not like really super hyped. Like, there's not a lot of games coming out, and I think we're just now starting to feel the effects of all the COVID delays. I think that's what's happening right now. Is you didn't see it during COVID because they were all almost done. The years after is where we're going to see those delays.
Yeah, like I said, I think mid to end of fall is probably when we're going to see the announcement for the Rise expansion.
Yeah, possibly. I would hope, at least.
Yeah. Otherwise, we can wait a little bit. I've got plenty of backlog games to get through.
I thought I did. There's been a lot of problems with me picking up a game that I have in the backlog and being like, nope, I'm not playing this. This is fucking stupid. I hate it. I've had another sandbox game that I love, Just Cause. I picked up number 4. That game sucks. It's not the same Just Cause. I'm not even kidding. It's not even close. Like, what I used to love is like it was just you got to like part of it was just like, hey, just go around and destroy shit. That's not a thing anymore. It is, but it isn't. It doesn't. It's like it gives you
not just
bonuses.
Like free reign?
No, it gives you bonuses to whatever you're doing. It doesn't. It's not like, oh, I've taken over this area and you're sort of like destroying the bad guy stuff little by little. You're just like, hey, I've boosted the morale by destroying the stuff, and I'm pretty sure it respawns too. Like, I'm pretty sure the stuff you destroy comes back. And I'm like, that's just not Just Cause anymore. That's just not. I don't know what this shit is, so I took it off. Yeah, and I've been playing that. I've been like replaying games that I go back to all the time. Like, I tried Wilson, like I said, and then I tried. I have been playing Titan Quest again because, like, when I was talking with my brother, I've had this game for years and I've still never beaten all 3 difficulties. I've only ever beaten the first difficulty and tapped out because you're 80 hours in on the first difficulty. So,
my coworkers started playing Monster Hunter World. So
I saw
whenever he's available, yeah, and I've specifically started up a bow character because specifically bow is probably my most unused weapon throughout the series. So I was like, I should actually sit down and try to learn the mechanics of it, and try to get good, quote unquote. I've also got Back for Blood pre-ordered. So once that comes out,
I'm excited for Back for Blood, but I've been tempered by all the bad reviews that have come out from the alpha stuff. So
I'm gonna get to download and play it for free, I guess, with Game Pass.
nice.
That is the advantage Xbox has. The Game Pass stuff is legit good. Like that is legit good. I just don't know what to do.
We got Game Pass to play the Outer Worlds.
Yeah,
'Cause I didn't want to pay $60.
Worlds I liked.
I just beat it on hard, and I'm like arguing with myself about if I'm gonna try a Supernova run or not. So it's gonna be a totally different game.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but the
I'm not
same
gonna be able to play it
and more
chatting
frustrating.
my way through shit. Yeah.
That's the problem with like, hey, you beat it on hard mode. Here's super hard mode. And I'm just like,
Well, actually, I think that if I do it on Supernova, I am gonna have to play it as a persuasion and hack because I didn't even like. I just walked through the last mission. I barely fought anything because I had maxed persuasion and hack. Just walked through the prison. Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, maybe that is the way to do it.
And then just today, I did the thing. I ordered the Colossal Boy. It comes out theoretically March 1st of next year.
What's the Colossal Boy? You have to give me some context here.
The giant ass Fatalis statue from Predators. I went into GameStop and I was like, this is the only chance that I will ever pre-order it for myself because I'm not fronting the money all at once. I was like, do you guys by chance do pre-orders for Fatalis?
This is not Fatalis for Sasha's reference, but a Monster Hunter figure that is instead. How big is this?
Well, that guy's what, like 4 to 6 inches. I think they said it's like 18 to 20 inches tall.
Dear God.
Because like,
dear God,
they have side comparisons of it to the Rathalos figure, and the Rathalos figure is like
a foot
to 14 inches tall. So the Fatalis one, I think, is actually like in terms of like all the different figures, like matched to size. So it's like actually scaled to like the size that it would be, and it's huge.
All of that, and this is so still my favorite one. Just this tiny one. Well, because it's Diablo. Yeah.
I've got the Bloodbath one as well.
All right, now you're just showing off. Now you're just.
I mean, just remind me when it's your birthday again, and I'll maybe get you the Bloodbath Diablos.
For context, he got me this for my birthday. So thank you, Ace. But no, I'm good. Actually, you actually got me the Steelbook for Doom. I have over there too.
I did do that. And then I also got myself Doom Eternal with like, I think a buy 3 deal, and then a week later I went into Best Buy and bought the Steelbook. So,
yeah,
I'm just a Steelbook collector for no reason.
They're nice. I mean, I have the Steelbook for Borderlands 3. I haven't finished that game, and in fact, I don't like Borderlands all that much usually. But I have the Steelbook.
Yeah. Best Buy had a sale for Cyberpunk 2077 with the Steelbook, and I was like, why not?
Because it's Cyberpunk and it might not work. No, I've heard it's got better. Well, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen the patch notes that span the length of the entire world.
Yeah.
Or the circumference of the entire world.
Jeez. Yeah, it was
theoretically
seriously
it'll be
long
okay.
patch. I thought Diablo had some freaking long patch notes sometimes, but now Cyberpunk, holy cow.
Not a patch. They had to finish the game.
Yeah,
So
Yeah,
that's a fair
they
cut.
just gave you
I
the
mean,
rest of it.
Yeah, they did.
I mean, people want to give CD Projekt Red shit, but like EA keeps releasing fucking NFL or Madden NFL as it is each year, and
I mean, I
they
don't
have
play.
so many reused assets. I don't either because like
I
I
don't care
just
about
lost
real
interest in it.
football, let alone fake football.
Yeah,
Mm.
hand egg is a very boring sport to me.
But no, they have. I just actually watched Angry Joe's review of 22
Yeah.
today, and they have like reused animation screens from the last game.
Okay.
The last game had like uh, posters from 2020 and 2019 in the crowd. Uh, one of the one of the crowd members that he showed in his video had a Chargers sign, but a
Mhm.
Cowboys jersey.
Hey, he's
And then
got
when
a
they
he's got a he's got to rep both teams. You know, he's Cowboys territory and his wife is Chargers territory. There you go. That's the explanation.
and apparently when they went to start their season, like their story season,
Hmm.
it was Chargers versus the Chargers. So like his friends while he was playing the game was like, so do you think the Chargers are going to win or do you think the Chargers are going to win?
Yeah,
Personally, I think the Chargers are going to win,
that's
but
some
you never know. It could be the Chargers.
that's some great British
Uh,
humor right there. That's what they're going
Yeah.
for. They're just going for British humor now. Like they're changing it up, man. They're just changing it up. No, they're not. That's the whole point. But yeah, I get it. Yeah, the problem is it's like that Star Wars meme of like you were the chosen one and like CD Projekt Red was like Anakin and they were like no, why
Yeah.
you CD Projekt Red? Why you? Of you of all companies. All right, like oh man. I still
Yeah,
enjoy
so that-
GOG. I still think it's a great platform. Unfortunately, I just don't give a shit about any of their games anymore. Like I just don't. I never really got it that well into The Witcher to begin with. I still want to play it. I still have the desire to be on the in crowd of The Witcher eventually. And I have the Switcher. It's right there. I haven't played it.
I do too. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. I keep doing Monster Hunter shit.
I feel like The Witcher is a challenge for some people because it is very, very heavy in the lore development. If you don't like political drama, it's going to be very boring.
Yeah, no, Pan and Steve, they got me the Witcher book. They gifted me the second Witcher series book. And I've been listening to that, and truth be told, that series is very entertaining as a book series.
Amazing.
I finished the Tale of the Gold Dragon. That was good.
That's a very good one. Very good.
I am now in the one where he and this wizard are both being courted by Yennefer at the same time, and they're figuring out they're the other man. That one is interesting too.
Look, I have to say that because I've read the books, I have a deep, deep-rooted hatred for Yennefer.
That's fair. Yeah, like
Yeah.
yeah. So my brother and I, who are both in the dating world, both single, every time we see like a dating profile that says polyamorous or something like that, I'm like, oh, so you're pro cheating. Is what we like to say, because most of the time that's not true. I understand that is a real thing, people. I understand that you can be polyamorous and you can have multiple partners. That's not my thing personally, but in my experience, that has been people who were just cheating and just lying about the situation. And
So I am not polyamorous, but I do know someone who has been in a committed polyamorous relationship. And what I found in listening to that is it takes, I think, a lot more communication than a monogamous relationship does. And I think that is just like
And
way
that
too
is
much
where
work.
most relationships fail in monogamous stuff is communication. Like, that's where most relationships fail, period. So having that level of you're a communication god. Just more power to you, I suppose. Jeez. Anyways, yeah. Yennefer was totally just like, no, I need both guys. Don't you understand? And then both of them are like, let's duke it out. I haven't finished the book yet. I haven't finished it yet, but
Oh, that's a pretty disappointing one. So I won't give you any spoilers, but that
okay.
particular
I
one
feel I am close to being done to it because he has already met him at the dig site and agreed on this duel or whatnot. I feel that one is mostly done.
it's a Village Forts, isn't it? That's who he's
Yeah,
gonna
the
fight.
wizard.
Oh, yeah. Have fun.
Yeah, I don't have expectations either way, honestly, on this one, because both of them are like, this guy's gonna fuck me up. You can tell both of them are like, they're just putting on a peacock show for Yennefer, each of them. But I don't know. I think for learning about Witchers, I think it's actually a really good book. This one in particular, because it does talk about how much they do have emotions, but it's weird. I don't know. Obviously, this isn't a Witcher podcast, but it just popped up in my head. Is it weird that it's kind of like The Witcher is sort of like this thing of like toxic masculinity where they're not allowed to have feelings, but he totally does.
I think it's almost like Witchers themselves have been othered so much by their general society that there's an expectation that they carry themselves a certain way.
Yeah.
Because his internal monologue doesn't match how everybody in the world describes him to be.
Yeah. I like what Chad said. Peacocks versus cassowaries. I'm all for terror birds. All 100% for terror birds. Oh, man. So, what was the other... Do we have anything else PlayStation-wise to delve into? We hit KOTOR. We hit God of War. We hit... I don't think we finished God of War. Wolverine. I'm not sure how I feel about Wolverine. That's a wait and see for me if they do it right. Obviously, Spider-Man.
Wasn't a PlayStation announcement, but I'm waiting with bated breath for more footage and info on Dead Space, the remake.
Oh, yeah, it's not Dead Space. It's something else. But yeah, the spiritual successor.
No, there is a Dead Space. There's a remake.
They're remaking Saints Row, which I was really excited.
There is a Dead Space game in the remake in the works.
It's a remake?
It is a full-fledged remake. They are bringing Gunnar Hansen back as Isaac Clarke.
I don't remember. I remember this specifically as a spiritual reimagining rather than a remake. And I do believe they specifically said it wasn't Dead Space because EA still held the rights, and it was a different company.
Well, yeah, there's a different like sci-fi horror space one, but this one is I'm specifically talking about is the EA announced remake because they did teaser footage of it. I am waiting with bated breath, with 1 foot already out the door.
Yeah, 5 hours ago says bunker down until 2022. It's not coming out anytime soon.
Yeah.
So wait. So there was this, we're going to make Dead Space the way we wanted to and redo it. And then on top of that, EA said, also, we're remaking Dead Space. So there's 2 separate projects here?
Yeah. I forget the name of the other project, but yeah. It was like a month or 2 ago where EA announced and had a teaser trailer.
Yeah, this is how out of touch I am.
Some of
with some of these things.
By some of the news they have, it seems like it is headed in the right direction.
Mm-hmm.
Isaac will speak in the game, but he will only speak when spoken to, or when the situation
terrible.
calls for it. Well, because he
Yeah.
was silent in the first game, except for like runs,
like
and
Fallout
screams.
4.
That reminds me, I have forgot about this for several weeks, but I have an episode I want to do. And I feel very strongly about this. And I keep forgetting. So it doesn't sound like I feel very strongly about it because I keep forgetting. But life happens. And I want to talk about the silent protagonist as an idea. Because I think it needs to go away. Or, if they're going to do it right. Because they don't do it right anymore. And the big...
I really didn't like Fallout 4. I didn't like how they did that.
That would be some good insight from you on that. I would say it was the largest offender to this that I will... This burns in my head every time I think about this game now is actually Stories 2. Monster Hunter Stories 2 that recently came out. The silent protagonist in this is bullshit. He is fully talking and they are just not telling us what he's saying. Or you have some awkward conversations where he literally just fucks off and walks away. He or she, depending on your character. And people are like, what does that mean? Where are you going? That literally happens in one of the cutscenes. They're like, you didn't say anything and you started walking away. How fucking rude are people to just not talk in these games sometimes? Oh.
I wish they would have. I wish they would have had voices for the characters in both the first one and the second one. Because, like, in both the games, your character only speaks at the end, and it's to say Ratha both times, I think.
Would it be hilarious if they reused the same voice line in the second one?
I mean,
they might have.
They could have.
Ratha.
But,
yeah.
like, in terms of getting rid of, like, the silent protagonist, do you mean, like, as, like, a thing in gaming? Like...
Yeah,
no more...
yeah, let's step away from it. Because it's causing a lot more problems than it is. It's a cop-out at this point, right? I mean, there's exactly...
Do you want to talk about it now, or do you want to save it for the next chat?
It'll be like an hour and a half discussion, at least, for me. Because I have, like, a list of games where... I would actually like to like... us bring games to the table with silent protagonists and say, should this still be silent or not? Do we voice act it now? You're not showing... Okay. Go ahead.
A post-apocalyptic game. Sort of similar premises to A Quiet Place.
Uh-huh.
So it's largely a game where you have to be quiet.
Yeah.
And you can only communicate via sign language. So a game where you have to learn sign language passively through the game.
And then throw in the alien isolation mechanic, and if you're in real life making too much noise, you get caught.
I want a fucking horror game that actually did
Alien Isolation does that. Yes,
I have that. I need to play it.
So you got to hook your Kinect up to it if it's on console. So we forgot it was hooked up, and I was watching my husband play it, and I jumped and shouted, and he was caught.
All right.
Oh man, that is one of those. That has got to be one of those quintessential moments where you're like, "I love you, but get the fuck out of the room."
I need to play that now because I have that. I just haven't gotten to it yet. But yeah, I want more horror games that actually include the use of like mics and stuff like that.
I am with you.
Eventually,
I will not be playing them, but I am with you. I'm with you from far away in the safe, happy pony land where I am not going to be scared.
Eventually, I'd like one that would be developed enough to the point where like it uses like heartbeat monitors to sense when like you're really freaked out, so that then it like sends specifically more and more freaky and horrible shit towards you to fuck with you.
Technology exists for this to be a thing. I can't remember what the study they pull up to heart monitors just to tell like what were the scariest movies. And I mean the outcome was things like with all the jump scares like Insidious and stuff like that. But it exists. You put it out in the universe, keep putting all that juju out there, and it'll come back. We'll get it.
You know, it's another one of those things that are like a lot of people I know are into, and I'm just like, no thanks. And that's the horror stuff. See, that's why I like the horror. So we, you know, Sasha, we met through the horror virgin community because I am the horror virgin. I am the Todd. I am the because they are entertaining to me because it's funny to listen. I watched none of these movies. I watched Hush, I think I said, and that's it. Like I watched, and that was kind of freaky. But then I liked at the end where it got more actiony. But yeah, I'm just not into the horror stuff. And actually, Dead Space doesn't scare me that much. But it's just like, do I really want to go through this and play this right now? Is the problem that I have. This is like I get so far and I'm like, but I'd rather play something else.
PSVR 2 is in production. What?
Nope. I am not doing. No, I am a hard out on VR. No.
I was gonna say, what if they incorporate like a heartbeat sensor into the actual controllers? So like, you don't have a choice if you're playing that game.
There is okay, I am not against immersion in a game. I am against full sensory deprivation immersion. I am against that because like with my hearing problem, I actually like to have it where I can actually hear other people if they need me because I have kids and that kind of stuff. And I don't normally game while they're up, but it happens every once in a while because I am not watching Vivo the 7th time. As much as I love that movie, I'm not watching it 7 times in one day. It's just not happening, right? Cece, she'll watch it on loop. But there are occasions where I would like to game and I would not like to be in a full immersion. And that's the problem is I never want to be at that level of immersion, especially with VR. I don't want that. That's too much for me. I just don't want that.
Yeah, I haven't done VR really. I think the most intense thing I did was the EAA Air Center has a sort of simulation thing where you can fly a plane where it has like the giant pivoting arm, so you can actually like turn and go upside down and all that sort of thing. I think that's maybe the closest I've been. So
I'm also afraid of heights, so I'd probably cry. I'd probably just cry.
I mean, I am too, but I was able to help myself and mitigate it by doing rock climbing at a climbing wall.
That's where I discovered my fear of heights, is rock climbing.
Also where I discovered my fear of heights.
Yeah, I got about 10 feet up, and I was like, bye, I'm done.
I was a teenager. I was like very athletic, and I thought, oh, this is going to be a piece of cake. And yeah, same thing. I got like maybe high enough that it was like my height up. And I'm like, nope, I'm done. Done with this.
I don't know what it's only been since I'm an adult that I've had this problem. I guess that looking back and remembering when I would climb a tree, I would be a little more nervous than I thought people should be climbing a tree. But I was like, whatever, I'll get over it. But I can actually look at someone climbing like something that I wouldn't like to climb, like a tree or that kind of thing, right? And my hands, and I'm not kidding you, it's happening right now, describing it. My hands and feet will hurt and start to sweat. Like, I legit just can't do it. And here's the thing. Like all those things where you're like high up and you can see below you and you're standing on glass or something doesn't bother me at all. No problem. My feet are on something, I'm okay. I am not. There is not a situation which I slip and fall because of my own inability to grasp something, right? I think that's where the problem comes in, is my inability to keep myself up or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's not debilitating. It's just painful. It's just pain.
I mean, oddly enough, I've triggered like a fall sensation with myself playing Minecraft before, jumping off like a tall structure into like a bed of water. I've like been like zoned into the game so much that like I went and jumped off and I had that like whoosh sensation. I was like, oh fuck, whoa.
Do a flip.
I get like that claustrophobic, like I feel like everything's closing in on me in most of the vaults in the Fallout games, because you're underground and you have just the one entrance in and out, and I don't know, and I don't avoid it, but I notice a definite change in my breathing, and my hands get a little sweaty.
I definitely got that sensation playing Resident Evil Village, because going through like the castle and all the little hallways and stuff in there, that definitely had me feeling claustrophobic.
I had considered playing 7 and then Village because of like the hype around them, and it just sort of dropped off. But then I heard about, I watched a little bit more about Village and stuff, and I was like, the part where you're just sort of walking away from Lady Damatsu as she's just sort of like chasing, like not really chasing you, but following you. I've seen that a lot in reviews. I'm like, I think I'm not in for that. I think I'm not in for the whole slasher. Here's Jason. I'm gonna fucking kill you if I get close to you, even though I'm slow. Like I'm not into that. I'm not just like, that's a level of stress I don't need.
Well, here's the thing. That stress for me was sort of immediately mitigated by what happened after that first initial chase sequence in like the dungeons of the castle, because she fully cuts off your character's hand, and I was like, oh shit, so I just have to like go through the game with like my non-dominant hand, and what do I have to like level it on like the stump or something? No, dude straight up takes medicine, pours it on his wrist, and glues it back on. He takes his separate hand, splashes medicine on the stump, and like,
and it's usable.
And it's usable. It like starts twitching, and he's instantly able to use it again. And I'm just like, what? You had me. I was interested, and I was like totally immersed, and then you did this, and now I'm just like, does nothing matter?
Because that's part of, is it Outlast 2, where your character gets fucked up and it stays that way for the whole game.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like you definitely get fingers cut off in that, but like they don't come back. You can't just use some medical spooge and stick it back on there.
Conversely, the other Capcom series, Dino Crisis, where you can get your arm ripped off and play with one arm the rest of the game, it's a little different. Which actually, how do you survive that one? Because that's such a much more major blood loss, because it gets ripped off at the shoulder. So that's,
I mean,
I don't know how you survive that.
Theoretically, if they have a good enough mobile trauma unit,
you don't.
Theoretically, no.
It's herbs. It's literally herbs that save you.
Yeah, and you got to finish the rest of the game. There's no time for a trauma unit.
Yeah,
maybe all these games are just like in the same universe.
Ain't nobody got time for that. You got bronchitis. Oh boy. Oh man, that's a freaking old meme now, right?
Yeah.
God, when was that? Had to have been 2010.
2008, 2009.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah,
maybe earlier.
Granted, I'm using it in reference to a '98 game, so or something like that. So yeah, no, I definitely we have ideas for episodes in the future. So maybe we'll do the silent protagonist thing. Well, maybe we'll do some other stuff too. And I know this was actually Pan's idea to do the mini games, and then she was out sick. So eventually we'll have Sasha and Pan on at the same time again. It'll happen. We've only missed twice now, but I thought it was interesting that we flip-flopped on each week. I was like, oh no.
Life keeps picking one of us each weekend to fuck with. So
Yes, unfortunately. Yeah.
Well, hopefully next weekend will be the weekend because I'm going to be at a wedding.
Mm-hmm.
So I will be out. So hopefully we can have that reunification.
Some point in the future.
And then the week after that, hopefully we can have like all four of us on at the same time.
yeah,
Mm-hmm. Hopefully.
just put out the good vibes.
Although, there may be a weekend in October that I will be out. There may be.
So then who will host the pod?
If I'm out, usually that just means we just skip that week. Honestly. Because...
I know, I figured.
yeah. So, maybe.
No, I'll just take over the account and like self-record. I'll go through like every single episode and just like cut audio from you out, and then cut out from Sasha and Pan and just like hodgepodge an episode together.
As much psycho killer audio as that sounds, that's a lot of work, dude. That's a lot of work.
I made a bot
I know.
listen to 180 episodes of Hunter's Hub, and this is the episode he came up with.
Yes.
Oh god.
That goes right along with my idea that I had for this episode of having Pan come on but use text to speech the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
So we'd have a Pan droid instead
Now,
of Pan.
I don't want to crap on other content creators, but there was a Monster Hunter podcast, specific Monster Hunter podcast, that it is known that a particular person does not speak or show themselves. They always do silent runs and that kind of stuff. And they were supposed to be on this podcast, and it got a lot of hype because people were going to hear their voice for the first time ever. And it was literally a person reading their typed responses, who was also a speaker on that podcast. So we would be like, yada, 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 and so says, yada, yada, yada. And then I respond to that, yada, yada, yada. And then so-and-so says, yada, yada, yada. Granted, there was another person on there, so it wasn't direct back and forth, but it was terrible.
Doesn't sound like a recipe for success.
Which is why when you said that, I took that as 100% joke, and that is not happening. Because we are not reading Pan's responses.
No, I meant like she records, she puts it, she types it up like live, and then plays it text to speech.
Oh,
into
other
the
way around.
microphones.
Text to speech. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
That makes
yeah.
more sense now that I
So
think about it.
it would literally
But you
be
can't
like
talk.
Pandroid because it would be like either Siri or like Google Assistant or
Yeah.
whatever text to speech thing
Could you imagine?
available.
She'd have to actually write when she laughs. Ha 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 ha.
Imagine that though.
It'd be weird. It'd be a very weird episode. Okay, so do we have anything else to say about the PlayStation stuff or mini games in general? No. Okay.
We're good.
So, tentatively, we have a few ideas coming forward. Might do the Death of the Silent Protagonist, but we might do that. I might want to do that as like a all four of us day. So maybe we might do that when all four of us are here, because I'm hyped for that one. I think that's a long one for me, at least, because I think there are some surprising ones that could stay and could gone. Like we're going to be cutting out silent protagonists. You are no longer allowed to be silent. Or whatnot. Because yeah, It's a thing. I'll get into it. It's a thing. But anyways, so yeah, thank you everyone for listening. I actually do have to pitch Ace because Ace actually does have a Twitter and stuff. So, so at Ace Badger Gaming on Twitter for you, right? Still, did I get it right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That is me.
And then also at Hunter Sub Pod on Twitter to catch all the updates and when we're going live and that kind of stuff. And be sure to join our Discord, where you can get a hold of Sasha and Pan if you'd like to. They're on the Discord. And myself and Ace included. We've been a little more quiet on the Discord because I've been terribly sick for a week. And then and then also just playing other things. There was a what's it called? Split something. There's a new game that came out recently on Steam that's free to play. It's like Split something. It's like actually like a Halo clone, and I'm gonna try that out soon. So Split Force,
I'm sure.
maybe.
Okay.
But yeah, so thank you guys for listening. And is there something else I need to say? I'm forgetting. I don't know. I'm confused because I haven't been interrupted by kids for 2 weeks now, and I'm just
How do we do the show?
how are things going well? Like, but yeah. Thanks everyone for listening, and we'll catch you next time. Laters.
Bye.